Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, free and available on all platforms. I could legitimately take the halftime show from week 2 and play it today. I could legitimately take the halftime show week 3 and today. Week 4 and week 5, all the same. The Cardinals offense looks terrible. This Seattle Seahawks defense gave up 39 points to the New Orleans Saints last week without Michael Thomas. It looks like the Cardinals don't know what they're doing. The defense looks fantastic. The defense has been the more stable side of the football, in my opinion, all season. The defense hasn't given up more than 23 points all year, aside from week 1 at home against Kansas City, after none of the starters played in the preseason. It's kind of a throwaway game. The Cardinals are down 9-3 at halftime thanks to the defense. The Cardinals are down 9-3 at halftime because the offense can't get things going. We saw the scripted first drive. You could tell it was scripted. You could tell it was exactly how they wanted it to happen. Kyler Murray with the 40-plus yard run. It looks like, okay, it was a complete overcorrection from what we've seen so far with Kyler Murray not running the ball as much or even close to as much as we saw during his first couple of years in the league. But then it just kind of went stale. Kyler Murray underthrew Marquise Brown on the crossing route. They obviously wanted to implement Rondale Moore into the offense. Zach Ertz, no catches. Trey McBride, nowhere to be found. Benjamin looked good on the first drive, and then they kind of went away from him. The offense has had multiple sustained drives. They've been on the field for longer than the Seahawks offense, and they have 3 points. One was the fourth down call, which I'm not against. You're on the road. You had momentum on a longer drive, and they had the right play call. I don't know if it was Kyler Murray needed to throw a little bit higher, Rondale Moore needed to dig it out and catch the ball just to extend the drive, but the Cardinals came away empty there. 3 points. And it just looks like something's off. I don't know what it is. If this continues, we're going to start having to have the conversations, what's going on with Kyler Murray? Because for those that have listened to me so far, and thank you for hanging out, you know that I'm on the side of the aisle with Kyler Murray. It's not absolute. I'm not saying that Kyler Murray is without fault for why the Cardinals have gone through what they've gone through the last couple seasons, especially down the stretch. But I do think that he's not getting the tutelage and the coaching that other young quarterbacks are in the league. Look at what's happening with Daniel Jones since Brian Daboll took over. Look at what's happening since Trevor Lawrence since Doug Peterson came over. Don't look at win-loss with Jacksonville. Look at what Trevor Lawrence is starting to grow into. And Kyler Murray, although extremely talented, it's kind of plateauing this year. We see flashes. We see flashes of incredible excellence. We see what I call the oh my God moments. But we don't see them nearly frequently is enough. And, when you talk about things as sensitive as a quarterback who you just extended for a whole lot of cheese, a whole lot of cake, it's easy to say, oh, not worth the money. I told you, not worth the money. I told you he wasn't worth the money. No NFL player is probably worth the money the quarterbacks get paid. Let's be honest. But when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals history, Kyler Murray is the most exciting quarterback the Arizona Cardinals have ever had. Is he still a work in progress? 100%. Could he have been further along in his journey with a different head coach? Possibly. But where we are now looking at halftime today, Cardinals are 2-3. They're within one score, and this offense has looked terrible. Awful. And point the fingers, do what you want, do what you wish. But when it comes down to this season, if the Cardinals get a W, they're going to be tied for first in the division. The Rams look bad. The 49ers lost to the Falcons today. And if the Cardinals can get a W in a tough place to play in Lumen Field in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, it will be a very good thing for them, obviously. And then you have the short week with the Saints coming into town. So this could go from almost to unraveling very quickly, or it could go from almost to, okay, the Cardinals are putting themselves in a position for a playoff run very quickly as well. And it starts today. It starts in this second half because the offense needs to figure it out. And what we've seen so far this season is the offense is figured out in the second half. I talked about it all week on Locked On Cardinals. You can check it out free and available wherever you get your podcast, Monday through Friday, and on YouTube, that the Cardinals are a high school student who continues to hit snooze instead of getting up and getting ready for school in the morning. They've hit snooze through the first half of pretty much every game this season. They haven't gotten up on time. They've been late to school, but now is the time where the Cardinals are awake, and now they're an A student. What we've seen in the second half is they played a lot better. I don't know what's taken so long. I don't know why they're not ready to roll at kickoff. Some could say it's leadership, but I'm on my moratorium for another 3 weeks. Going into the second half, I was completely wrong this whole week when I said Kyler Murray should be throwing the ball 40 times. It's obviously not working. Give the ball to Eno Benjamin, run the ball with Kyler Murray, get Keontae Ingram. He had at least one nice run in the first half. Control the clock, but don't forget about the play action. Don't forget about why people run the ball to begin with. It's to set up big plays. It's to set up play action. And the Cardinals need to get Zach Ertz involved. They need to get Rondale more involved. They need to just be a better offense. This whole offseason was spent on the Arizona Cardinals offense. And they look worse now than they did last year. DeAndre Hopkins comes back next week. Okay? I understand. Hollywood Brown has looked great since he's come over. But acquiring Hollywood Brown negated the ability for the Cardinals to draft an offensive lineman or an edge rusher in the first round. They're last in the NFL in sacks, and Kyler Murray doesn't have any time today. Rodney Hudson's out. Justin Pugh, got hurt mid-game. So, somebody tweeted out, no offensive line on any team is this deep when you're down to your second and third guys. I understand. But I'm just pointing out why the Cardinals are where they are right now. And if they can turn this around, if they can put up some points, get a couple stops like the defense has in the first half, and they can score touchdowns that are like a 4-letter word for the Cardinals offense through a good chunk of this season, they get a W, come home, play Thursday night. If they win today and win Thursday night, we're having a completely different conversation about this team. Having a completely different conversation. Last time the Cardinals played Thursday night was kind of when things start to twinge a little bit last year against Green Bay. So when you look at this Cardinals team, not always lost. The defense is playing well. And I will continue to remind people that Vance Joseph has done such a good job with the talent that he has. Zach Allen has helped a lot because he's been healthy. J.J. Watt has played well when he's healthy. Byron Murphy looks like a bona fide CB1. Antonio Hamilton has played fine today. DK Metcalf has been shut down. The pass rush has gotten home. Cam Thomas, third-round pick out of San Diego State, had his first sack. So things are looking good from the player's perspective. I'm not giving Vance Joseph all the credit, but look at both sides. The defense is playing better than people expected. The offense is playing worse. Not all of that is players playing. That is the week up until the game. That is mindset. That is leadership. That is coaching. One side of the ball is getting far better coaching than the other. And I don't think it's close, and I don't know why it's not more obvious. Alex Lindsay, Locked On Cardinals. The second half is about to start. Please join me for the post-game. We call them postcast here on Twitter or on YouTube. I'm not doing it on Twitter Spaces anymore for the post-game. Go to Locked On Cardinals on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Hit the like button. Turn the notifications on so you know when that video is going live. Bring your comments, bring your questions. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the second half. Hopefully the Cardinals can put up some touchdowns and get a W up at Lumen Field.